Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today, we'll be discussing Starting a Family with My Silly Omega by Haruchika. Before we get started, there will be spoilers, so if you don't want to be spoiling this manga, go ahead and click off now. No worries, I'll catch you next time. For those of you left behind, let's go over some content warnings. There may be references to prejudice, manipulation, mentions of male pregnancy, violence, drugging, sexual assault, obsession, shotokan, not the main characters just to be clear, and harassment, as these things do appear in the manga. But if that's okay with you, let's go and get started. Haruto Yotsuba is an Omega, and as it turns out, his childhood friend is an Alpha named Sota Asahi. The two have had a sexual relationship for a while now, under the guise that all Omegas have to be intimate with Alphas to reach adulthood safely. But unbeknownst to Haruto, this is all a lie. Sota has loved Haruto since they were children, and he has no intention of letting anyone else have him. So, Sota took advantage of Haruto's innocence and laid claim over him with his body. But no matter how ignorant Haruto is, he won't fall for this trick forever, and with other suitors waiting in the wings, Sota has to work fast to ensure that his silly Omega stays his. To start out with, the art in this is kind of all over the place. Sometimes it's adorable, other times it's really odd and a bit jank. If you want consistent artwork, then this is the wrong place. Not to mention the sex scenes are super messy. There are many of them, which, as a self-professed degenerate, is nice, but what's happening is not always clear. Messy and inconsistent is the name of the game here. I wouldn't say it's the worst, but certainly not the best. What's maybe even messier is the story. It sometimes feels like it doesn't know if it wants to go full smut or have a smutty story. I feel like it would have been much more successful if it had gone full smut, but it does try to have a story. Haruto is ditzy to the max, and it's pretty creepy how Sota uses Haruto's inexperience to, quote, guide him into adulthood with sex. They're the same age, but it feels incredibly predatory. I've encountered a similar setup before with Golden Sparkle, but it didn't feel nearly as creepy for some reason. I think it's the prospect that Haruto believes these sex acts are required to safely reach adulthood that makes me uncomfortable with it. It's not about them exploring with each other, but is instead presented as a requirement, and that just rubs me wrong. Icky! But what I hate more than anything, and that is far more predatory, is the introduction of Sota's little brother. I've said it a couple times in other reviews, but I very much dislike Shota content, especially in a super smutty title like this. The little brother is a cutesy alpha who ignites Haruto's protective instincts since he protected Sota in their childhood. That's all well and good, but then Sota's brother tries to pursue Haruto. I like the idea of Haruto wanting to protect Sota's little brother because it reminds him of when he did the same for Sota in his childhood. I wouldn't mind there being a crush aspect to it, but there are times when people are actively predatory toward the little brother and try to seduce him, and I'm talking about full-grown adults doing this. Then the little brother tries to seduce Haruto. Both end up heavily sexualizing this very young-looking person, and it just makes me feel icky. I could have done without all that. Furthermore, there are tons of mentions of marriage and male pregnancy, which I adore when it comes to Omegaverse, and I was super excited to see some of it in this, but then it just ends? They temporarily live together while Haruto is in heat after their parents approve of their relationship, and they, of course, have tons of sex. They talk about having children someday and how cute their kids will be, and then it just ends with them happy to be alive. As a lover of male pregnancy, this was such a painful tease. I really wanted to see some future content with them finally married and starting a family together, as the title suggests. I don't know that it would have made this title that much better for me, but it certainly couldn't have hurt, and it would have made the title better reflect the contents. With all that being said, this is a miss for me. The art isn't as nice as I would like, the story is severely lacking, and it just gives me a lot of icky feelings throughout. To add insult to injury, while we do get mentions of impreg and marriage, we get neither. So if you're like me and adore some impreg and child rearing content in your Omegaverse, don't let the title fool you. This doesn't have either. But if you just want tons of smut, look no further. So, have you read Starting a Family with My Silly Omega? If so, what do you think? Do you agree with my assessment? Do you not? Let me know and comment below. Otherwise, I'll catch you next time.